Welcome back, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell to be notified of any new videos that we upload. So this is actually footage that I shot around about a month or two ago, but recently I have started posting on Instagram a lot more frequently, and I've had so many of you guys ask me what clear coats I'm using and basically what is my favourite clear coat. So this comes down to it as being my favourite clear coat, and in this video we're going to go into why this is my favourite clear coat, not just for finish, but obviously now I am running my own shop, this has to come down to price and also productivity. We are painting around about 3 to 4 cars per day on an average week, so we need something that is a productive clear coat, that's cost effective, but also obviously we are looking for that ultimate gun finish, so we can do as little polishing as possible and make the job as profitable as we can in as far as, you know, using materials goes. So obviously as a paint shop, one of our highest cost is materials. So let's get down to it. This is the Roberlo Kronox 610 clear coat. It's an ultra high solids clear coat. It is by far my favourite clear coat that I've used. I have been quite, I suppose, blessed with having the channel that I do regularly get to try a multitude of clear coats from like so many different manufacturers of so many different grades, but by far this has come out as the one that I will use all day every day in my shop. And by the end of this video, and you see the shots of this car, you will see why. So we are using the Roberlo Kronox 610, which is a UHS clear coat. We're using the KX46 fast hardener in this, which is exceptional for bake and also for air dry. Now if you want to run this through a bake cycle, if you've got a booth like we do, then we will let the booth get to 60 degrees, we will leave it there for 10 minutes. Once that 10 minutes is off, we will switch the cool down cycle on, and as soon as the car has come back down to room temperature, we've unmasked it and pulled it out of the booth. We've got no problem whatsoever with giving it a nib and polish, or if it needs be, say you've got that one random dirty job of the week and you need to give it a full flat and polish, you can quite easily do it with no problem whatsoever. Now we're just running the standard G3 premium system. This polishes up absolutely perfectly with that. We do finish it with a 3000 Trizac, especially on like a dark colour like this, but it actually Trizacs up immaculately as well. It's not a clear coat that you really have to Trizac and Trizac with multiple passes to get it to Trizac up nicely. So overall I have found, for a number of reasons, this being my favourite clear coat to use in the shop. Obviously productivity wise and cost wise, the shorter the bake cycle, the less fuel we're going to be using through the booth, the less time that the booth's going to be sat there being unused, and also for those jobs that you want to turn quickly but you want to use a premium clear coat on. You don't want to be going using, you know, like, I don't mean to say it in a bad way, but like a smart repair clear that's like a rapid clear or something like that, which, don't get me wrong, they are good, but for a job like this you want to be using a premium clear coat, and to me this really is a premium clear coat. And with the fast hardener that we've been using with this, like I say, a 10-minute bake at 60 degrees, by the time this is at room temperature and you bring it out of the booth, you can unmask it, nib it, polish it, and it's really nice to work with as well. Now obviously we're using the Iwata WS400 for this. It's 1.3 HD setup, by far also my favourite spray gun. It is a gun that no doubt you guys have probably got a little bit bored of seeing on the channel, because it is a gun that I use every single day in the shop. I've got the LS and the WS, I'm just looking at getting another WS as well, and it's my all day everyday go-to spray gun. No matter how many guns I've got on the wall, it's the one that I 99 times out of 100 will pick up to spray a job with, and it handles this Kronox 610 absolutely effortlessly. Now for application, we'll mix this standard 2 to 1 with the fast hardener, and then I'm just dropping in about 10% of slow thinner just to give me that extra little bit of flow out time on this clear coat. It has got quite a nice flow out. It's not going to flow out for a long time with the fast hardener, but it's just enough that you can shoot for that ultimate gun finish to get the finish off the gun that you want, so whether you're replicating a nice factory peel or you want a nice glassy finish, and then it's going to flow out just enough that you'll end up with that really nice perfect finish, in my opinion. So on this job we've just gone around this with one quick but fully closed wet coat. I've now switched over to my Iwata Junior. I'm just going to get around these little fiddly areas just to make sure that I've got a nice coverage of clear coat around these light bowls and around the grill, and just these really hard to reach areas with a big gun. So I did just put a little spot of it in this minigun for going around these little areas, and even a little minigun like this Kronox 610 goes through it beautifully. And like I say, not just on a bake cycle but air dry. This particular job we left this to air dry overnight and came in the next morning and flat and polished it without any issues. Now all I've done in that short break there is literally just top this gun up with the clear coat that was left in that minigun, and we're going straight back over this now, and now I'm going to give this now a really nice wet coat. So we have pretty much done this car on a wet on wet basis. So I've put the first coat down, I've just done a quick touch around the light bowls, and then I'm going straight round with the second coat. Now a lot of you guys are probably looking at this thinking, you know, this is a UHS, it's going to be a little bit tricky for solvent pop and that sort of thing. I find as long as you let this tack off for 10 minutes or flash off for 10 minutes before you hit bake, then you will not have a problem with any solvent pop with this clear coat whatsoever. I haven't found any excessive problems with it with silicone or any oil contamination or anything like that, because one of the things that I have found with UHS and VHS clears over the years is the higher the solids content the clear seems to have, I have found that they do get a little bit more temperamental to things like silicone and oil in your airline and stuff like that. But this is a really nice forgiving clear coat in that respect. We've got no posh filters on our airlines really in our shop, just because I haven't got around to the point where I can afford them. We've been spending the money on the booth and getting the better equipment in, and spray guns and stuff like that, and obviously making sure we're using the best materials that we can. So the air filter system that we're running at the moment is just like a standard sort of like Amazon £15 air filter, you know, like water trap, and I haven't found any issues whatsoever with the air that's being filtered from my compressor with this clear coat in any way, shape or form. And I find it a really nice clear coat to spray as well. I mean, as you can see, I mean, this Morgan's coming up absolutely beautifully. It was actually a bit of a tricky one to do because the car itself, being a classic Morgan, did actually have quite, not I'd say a lot of peel, but it's got quite a lot more peel than I'd expect a car like this to have actually. So trying to use this clear coat and replicate that peel, especially on these flat panels, was a little bit difficult. So on this particular job I only dropped around about 5% of slow thinners in it, just to leave it a little bit thicker, just to give it that little bit thicker peel on the sort of the sides and everything, so it matched. But it would also mean that we could get that nice flow out and that nice glassy finish and that nice build on the flatter panels. So cost wise, this clear coat comes in at £119.99 for a 7.5 litre kit. Now we ordered this from PMP Supplies. It wasn't a sponsored product that we've been sent out to review or anything like that. This is a clear coat that I bought myself to try and test in our shop because I had heard about the really good bake times on this clear, and I have to say it was £120 well spent. It's really good efficiency wise, you know, it goes a long way. I'd say your average panel you're probably looking at around about 100ml per panel if you do it wet on wet. You can do it and leave it, you know, and leave it with a flash off time in between, but I found that personally I get the better finish when I'm giving it that wet on wet application. And as I said, we're using here the KX46 fast hardener. That is what I am using in my shop. I find that for any jobs that are done lasting, that are getting air dried overnight, or for ones that we want to put on a nice short bake cycle to make it nice and efficient on fuel and also shop time and booth time, then the KX46 just really does seem to fit. I've done jobs up to just over the side of a car with that hardener without any issues whatsoever with it drying out too fast. Obviously as well with it being wet on wet, you know, I haven't got to worry so much about getting that dry edge in the clear coat. I will leave a link in the description to This Clearcoat on the PMP Supplies website. So if you're looking at some new Clearcoat, do shoot over there and give them guys a shout. That's it for me for this video today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you again soon.